All right, call to meeting, the Combined Construction Code Board of Appeals, Wednesday, February 16th. We'll start with a roll call.
Duncan? Steve Duncan?
Here.
Frank?
Here.
Horace?
Here.
Darren?
Here.
Andrew?
Here.
Tim?
Here.
Okay. Second item is approval of the minutes from our June 30th, 2020 meeting. Is that correct? Date?
Correct.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Do I hear a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay. Minutes are approved. Third item of business is communications. Trishna, can you help us understand what communications we have today? If any at all?
So third item is staff is wanting to add an ordinance change, 15.12.044 elevator hoist opening protection in the ordinance. This is already in the code per chapter 7, but it always helps having this language in the ordinance when talking to developers from who are coming from out of town who don't understand the code, and we have to go back to them and explain chapter 7 and how the shaft opening for the elevator is not protected for smoke. So whenever the door opens, we want to protect that rated corridor from smoke, especially in residential apartments, hotels. This would not be required, so hoistway protection will not be required on the level of exit discharge, but it will be required on all other subsequent floors to limit the passage of smoke. So we just want to have it written in the ordinance, so that way we don't have to go back and forth with the designers on the justification.
And this is for 1 and 2 family dwelling units?
No, it would be only for commercial buildings.
Okay. Does anyone have a opinion on my end? Is I agree. It comes up in every jurisdiction, and we've had lunch and learns, and it's important, especially in if you're speaking of dormitories, large apartment buildings, hotels. The elevator shaft creates a smoke. Really difficult smoke problem in case of a fire. So
yes, so we most of the times we either ask them to prove to us that the elevator door that they're supplying shuts off the smoke, and if they can't, then the other option would be to provide either a smoke door on a hold open that closes, at the lobby, or one of those curtains that come down, which would be approved by the fire marshal. And that's why he's here today, if anybody wants to talk to him. But it's usually approved by the jurisdiction on what product or how they want to pursue protection of the shaft opening into rated corridors.
Does the fire marshal want to comment on that?
no, I'm in support of it as well.
So we just need a vote.
Okay. All right. So call for a vote. I still don't know everybody's names. Trishna? No. Yeah. I think Steve? Okay. Just say either yay or nay. Yay? Tim?
We can just ask for a motion, and somebody will motion to approve, and all in favor say aye, and all opposed say same sign. So.
All right, motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion approved. New business. We have 3 items today to discuss. First being ordinance amending Chapter 15, 12, Section 44 of the International Building Code and International Residential Code for 1 and 2 family dwellings.
That's the one we just went through. The second one would be Chapter 15.16.015 of the National Electric Code.
Okay,
So background, we're not really changing this. We're just going to add this in the ordinance that per state law, we'll have to follow their whatever, the state's guidance and law. We have to follow state electric code, and that's what we're writing in our code now. That's pretty much it. Like all jurisdictions have to follow Iowa state code for electric code. It was never written in our ordinance, but we had to do it, so now we're just formally adopting it.
okay.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion approved. The third item is the ordinance amending Chapter 1516, Section 30 of the Electrical Code.
We're adding 2 items on this one. The city of Davenport has not allowed Romex wires in common areas in multifamily dwellings. So within the dwelling itself, you're allowed to use Romex, but in the common areas, stairwells, it has to be should be not MC or EM. Yeah. So that's what we're putting in the code. And then the second one is in non-combustible buildings, type 1 and 2, the use of non-metallic cables would not be allowed even if it is within raceways. So those are the 2 items that we're.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Item approved. Is there any old business to review today?
None.
Okay.
I would like to add a new item here, but we're still in talks with the state, and I did update you yesterday. The state of Iowa might pass a new legislature by vote, and it's governor's vote to adopt a building code, and that'll be for residential, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and commercial buildings. So there'll be one Iowa building code that all jurisdictions have to follow. So it's in the works right now, so we're still talking about it. We're still trying to understand the legislature. I'll update the code board when I hear more about it. But once that gets passed by the state, jurisdictions have 6 months to adopt it, after which we'll have to start enforcing it. But that I just came to know about it last week. I've been talking to Iowa building officials to see what's all in the code and everything. So on the Iowa side, there's just going to be one building code that'll cover all trades, buildings, fire code as well. So I think this is in hopes to make a builder's life easier when they move from different jurisdictions, but we don't know more yet, so we're still trying to weave through that. And jurisdictions will not be allowed to amend the code to be any stricter or less stricter. So those are 2 things that we're kind of trying to get a grasp of right now.
Are they modeling that after the international code then?
Yes, plumbing would be the UPC, but everything else is the International Plumbing Code, which in one section it said UPC and in the other it said International Plumbing Code. So we don't know what's going on right now. We don't know who's crafting that code.
Is this an item that would be like voted on the state legislation?
Yes, in March, I hear.
Okay.
So once that goes into effect, we'll meet again and we'll have to formally adopt it. Then it'll go to council.
Do you know if the AIA has voiced any opinions?
Nope, I didn't go through the lobbyists,
Okay.
but not the IA.
I was under the impression Davenport was already on the international.
We are, but what the state is doing is it'll have all jurisdictions follow 2015 International Building Code. So nobody's allowed to update or change that. And 2021 Mechanical, 2020 NEC, and 2021 Plumbing Code. So, and then 2015 Fire Code. So we're still trying to understand what the
What about energy code?
12, it'll stay with the 12 Energy Code. It'll be interesting to see how it all falls into place.
So some jurisdictions may be going backwards.
Yes, like up in Des Moines, they'll all be going backwards, especially once we've adopted the 18 code and we're getting ready to adopt the 21 code. They'll be going backwards. So we'll find out more.
Are they going to have enforcement locally then, or?
Yeah, we'll still have to
State.
enforce it. And all jurisdictions with population above 15,000 people will have to start enforcing it. So that means this, I was talking to the state inspector in Des Moines, and he was like, well, I guess my inspectors are going to quadruple now because now I'll have to start enforcing codes into smaller jurisdictions. So
That's what will get pushed
I think so. And he was like, well, it's good for the local jurisdictions now. You don't, you can just blame the state on everything. You don't have to fight
Yeah.
with anyone. But yeah, I think they're modeling it after some other states who have a state code, state building code, instead of each local jurisdiction having their own.
That's interesting. Because they've always had the minimum code, and then you could always
Make it
build upon that.
right now. They're not going to allow us to do that.
There we go.
I'm in favor of having one code,
Yeah,
as long
that
as
would
it's the
be-
right code.
Right.
And, yeah,
But now it's the 15 code and somewhere in the 20
Yeah.
code, and that's
Yeah.
and the one is in the 12 code. So
it gets confusing with Bettendorf and Davenport having different codes.
I know Iowa was trying to move towards the 21 code, all of us, soon. So now this is kind of,
That'll make it hard if
Yeah.
Illinois is in at 21.
yep, Illinois is all going to go to 21. We'll let you know when we find out.
Okay. Any other items?
Nope, none.
Okay. No new items up here, and then a call to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.